Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be on Numbers chapter 14 verse 2. I want to specifically highlight just one word from it, and that's the word murmur. But let's look at the whole verse. And all the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron. The whole congregation said unto them, Would God that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would God we had died in this wilderness? Okay, the word murmur here means complain. The Israelites were very fond of complaining about their situation. And the thing is, you see, complaining is a human instinct often. You want to express your frustration, you want to tell other people that you don't like what's happening and so on. But the reason why it's, I want to say, unchristian to do so is because it's inconsiderate. That is to say, this person you are complaining to, right? This person who you are trying to express your frustration to, in many cases often has things they would like to complain about, things they don't like. But they have to deal with it, especially like maybe you're the head of the family, or you're the head of a church, or you're the head of something, and the people under you are relaying their frustration, relaying their concerns, and so on. Like, the people who are complaining should also understand that the people they're complaining to, who are they going to complain to? Who are they? Are they going to tell you how they're suffering and so on? So you have to take that into consideration and figure out how you can try to be the solution of the things you are talking about. So the Christian way to solve complaints is not to complain more, but is to try to be the solution to the things you are complaining about. Be a problem solver. For example, Israel was in the wilderness, they were hungry, they were thirsty, there were all kinds of things going on. See, God was trying to build something. He was trying to lead them to the land of Canaan. He was trying to manage them. God was looking for support. He was looking for people who would help that process, help him realize that. The Israelites were supposed to comply, give him that support, and just take care of those things by managing their resources effectively and enduring. Those two things. Managing their resources and enduring whatever affliction they were going through. So the Israelites were to manage their resources carefully, which, for example, if you see in Exodus chapter 32, they were taking their gold and using it to make a calf, and they were wasting a lot of stuff. They were not supposed to do that. They were supposed to use their resources carefully and endure whatever suffering they were experiencing, so that the plan of God could move forward. That is what, or one of the things Paul meant when he said in 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 7, suffer yourselves to be defrauded. This idea that anytime something happens to you, you want to push it on someone else. No. Be a sponge that can absorb difficulty. Why? Because by absorbing it, you are absorbing that difficulty away from God, so that he can then push his mission further, make his plan to advance. And that plan, remember, is for your own benefit. It's not for him. God doesn't gain anything from whether we suffer or whether we rejoice. No. What God was doing for Israel was for their own good. So if they complied, they wouldn't have even had to spend 40 years in the wilderness. They would have spent a few months or however long, and they would have gotten to the place they were, the land of Canaan, and they would have settled, and everything would have been fine. The reason why they spent 40 years there was because they complained. Okay, they spent 40 years in the wilderness as punishment for complaining. It is something God hates because it's inconsiderate. It is not offering the support that God feels his people should give. Jesus Christ said, one of the Beatitudes is being merciful and offering support. To what? Not just offering support to homeless people and so, no, offering support to the plan that God is advancing. And if you also read Matthew chapter 25 verses 34 to 40, Jesus Christ described that same thing. you see the Son of God, you see the person who God is working with, you see the thing that God is doing, you support it. When it's hungry, you feed it. When it's in prison, you visit it, and so on. You care about the plan that God is building. If you're raising a family for God, for example, everyone around you and you yourself, you're focused on supporting that. You're not complaining about it. If your marriage is going poorly, you're not going to start telling everybody about it, complaining about it, because at the end of the day, complaints do not actually solve any problem. Be a problem solver. Paul said regarding marriage, Paul said in Ephesians chapter 5, if you read it from verse 26 down, your spouse is like your skin. You don't complain about your skin, or at least it's pretty useless to do that. You look for treatment. Similarly, if you have a spouse, you are focusing on how to nourish him or her, nourish the relationship so that it can be better in the future. Not try to scandalize it or complain about it to the other person involved, because it's a waste of time and it adds unnecessary stress to the relationship. Whatever you feel is frustrating, absorb it so that you can focus on how to build the relationship and solve those very problems you are complaining about. Okay? Be the solution to the things that you are complaining about. If there's something you aren't able to get, by being content, you can solve that problem. If there's somebody that is annoying you or somebody that's not doing what you want, figuring out how to live without that thing or get that thing from somewhere else, once again, being the solution to what you are complaining about. That is the Christian solution. Suffering yourselves to be defrauded, so that at the end of the day, whatever God is doing with you can still go forward without you having to derail the mission because of challenges that you personally are experiencing. Okay? So that is the lesson I wanted to draw out of this. Thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to the channel for more content. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.